What's up, guys? Welcome to Battleground Studios. I'm your host, Eric, and today I have a special guest with us, actually three of them, okay, and they're from our Kidlife ministry, and today these lovely ladies are going to talk about, what's going on in the Kidlife ministries, and we have an amazing thing going on this week, VBS, and I'm just going to have them, first off, introduce themselves, okay, and as they introduce themselves, I want them, if you guys don't mind, could you just tell us a little bit about yourselves and basically in a short little frame how you got to being over Kidlife and helping in that situation. So starting first, we're going to start with Miss Emily. If you want to go ahead and tell us about yourself.
What's up? My name's Emily. I got started in Kidlife because my kiddos go here.
Awesome.
So I have a little boy and a little girl, a 2-year-old little boy, a 4-year-old little girl, and me and my husband started bringing them here and got really involved with Kidlife that way, and one thing led to another, and here I am helping be over it. So it's been pretty awesome.
That's good. Miss Caitlin.
My name's Caitlin, and I am a school teacher normally throughout the day, throughout the school year. And how I came to be over Kidlife was, I started out serving just in Kidlife like normal, cleaning up after the kids, making sure everything was put together. Slowly kind of built that relationship with all the kids, and then until one day the Lord kind of just laid on it, gave the opportunity to say, hey, do you want to be over Kidlife? So, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Miss Carla.
Well, I've been coming here for about 5 years. My oldest daughter actually started first, and we followed, and kind of been in Kidlife ever since I started, and love the kids, so I got the opportunity also to help and wouldn't change it for the world.
Good. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted them to introduce themselves mainly because, that's important to see, like, how you all got started and what got you involved into this. And I personally, I have 4 kids that's in Kidlife, and I want to say that you guys do an amazing job. My kids always sing the songs. They always talk about the lessons, and my kids are wild. I'm not going to sit and act like they're just perfect kids because they're wild. So you guys, I just want everybody to know that you guys do an amazing job. And I don't want that to be overlooked in any way, okay? So VBS. So we got VBS going on this week, and that's mainly why I brought these ladies in here, is to basically talk about, what's going on in VBS and how the Lord's working in VBS. And basically, to start off, what is the theme? What is the theme that you guys started with VBS this year?
All right. Well, look at me. I'll go for it. Well, the theme of VBS this year at Zoomerang is the thing. It's about Australia.
Okay.
Is the main title of it. But it's really what we're talking to the kids about is the value of life, from in the womb to whenever they get older. Because, as a church, I know we all stand for that and we all believe in that. So we're basically talking about the value of life. And, in fact, Miss Emily is teaching the lessons. So I'll let her explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the sanctity of life, we've talked about how you were created. We've gone over the debunking of human evolution, which was kind of cool to talk to the kids about those serious things because they've been taught this in school. So it's something that they were like, oh, yeah, I've heard my teacher talk about this. And so it was kind of cool to give them the facts and let them see that the Bible is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
So that was the first day.
Well, so it's talking about the evolution thing. I think that's important because a lot of people, especially in schools, they teach about evolution, but they teach it the opposite from a biblical standpoint. Right. So the fact that you guys throw that in there, I think that's very important. So go ahead.
And it was really cool, too, because the picture that we used is I feel like the picture that most, or at least it was in my science book. I can remember being in middle school. But, it's the picture, and you've got the ape and how it evolves with the missing links into a man. And so it's something that they've seen before. Several of them were familiar with it. So it was really cool to debunk that and show them, like, even the scientists that had found supposed missing link stuff, be able to show them the facts that, like, well, that was actually debunked because it wasn't true.
Right.
And, like, give them not just, oh, well, because the Bible says so, but actually it's been proven, too. So even if you're not a biblically based thinker, you're not a Christian, it's still a fact.
Right.
So that was really cool. That was day 1. And then day 2, we talked about our bodies. We talked about how God made male and God made female. And we talked about how everything that we have on our bodies is there for a purpose.
Right.
We talked about everything from the smallest bone in your ear to, your leg bones, everything that your body does and how wonderfully it was created for a purpose.
And that's another thing I think is awesome because a lot of kids, these, like, sometimes they feel like they're not important or, God messed up or like they're because they have, what some people call certain disabilities. And in reality, I'm the type of person I think that if God wanted you to be someone else, he would have made you someone else. Like he made you exactly the way you are, your brain, your body, everything. the way that he wanted you to be for a specific reason. So that's another, man.
Yeah,
Already.
so that was actually day 3. That was actually day 3 yesterday. That's what we talked about. And Miss Abby's group came in there, the older kids, and it was kind of funny because I went a little off track, but I really felt like, I did what the Lord was calling me to do. And so we talked about a lot of things. We talked about, it doesn't matter if you're a baby in the womb or you're a 95-year-old man. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair or you have this disability. The value of life is all the same. We're all level at the foot of the cross.
Absolutely.
So
Amen.
that's what we talked about yesterday, and the kids did really good. We talked about bullying. We talked about some hard topics that, we don't really get to talk about a lot with them. And they were engaging, and they asked questions, and they had good opinions about things, and we had some good discussions. So can't wait to see what today's going to hold.
So does it shock you guys if, let's say, maybe like a 3 or 4-year-old kid answers a question? Does it kind of blow your mind if,
Sometimes.
just them saying that?
Oh, yeah.
Because, a lot of times, like I said, I've got kids from 6 to 12 or 13, and sometimes they'll just say stuff, and it blows my mind.
Yes.
Just because, they have just that childlike faith, and they understand things, I think, far better than most adults.
Yes, that is true.
They
Yes.
haven't been corrupted by the world yet.
Right.
That's bad.
Yeah, right. That's
so
true.
They still have that pure faith.
So do you think, so the older kids, so how many teenagers would you say you guys have volunteering?
How many teams
Just
do
a
we
rough
have
estimate.
volunteering?
12.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
have
yeah,
about
that's
12.
amazing.
So how do you think they're doing? Do you think they're learning, not just, from the biblical standpoint, but they're learning like how to get involved? Because a lot of teens, one of the biggest downfalls in churches is a lot of times teens, they don't get involved outside of the youth ministry. Mm-hmm. So when the time comes for them to, becoming a young adult and get plugged into the adult ministry, they're kind of clueless and they're kind of lost. So I think, just getting them plugged in early like that is really helpful. So do you guys think that, them being involved, have you seen some kids that just kind of step into places you wouldn't imagined, or maybe stepped in and like kind of threw you off guard, but you were proud of them because they did it?
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. I mean, they're always surprising us.
Yeah.
We think it's important to include them.
Absolutely.
Because we have kids that are aging out.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be going to Rush, which is the youth ministry.
Right.
And they need to be involved from the ground up. But we have youth that have stepped in, and some of them haven't been to church, their whole lives.
Right.
But they're learning and they're growing, and as they grow, we try to give them a little extra responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
We teach
Which is
them
good.
They have standards that they have to hold, as far as you have to act a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Things are expected of you. That are
Structure.
different from, yes.
Yeah.
It's different from other, the kids playing. You have to, this is your time to show us what you got.
Well,
Right.
it goes beyond just like them stepping in to help with a lesson or help guard keep up with the kids. Because
Right.
we've actually you want to tell them a little bit about us helping Holly with the Levite ministry with the youth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
on Wednesday nights, we also have Kid Life Connect on Wednesday nights
Mm-hmm.
as well. And we're trying to teach these kids to serve, because so many times, it's easy, yes, for us just to go behind and clean up their mess.
Right.
It's so easy for us to do, because, trying to teach them, hey, this is how you use the broom, this is how you need to wipe down the table appropriately, that takes a lot of time and work. But it's so important that they learn those skills, because a couple
Absolutely.
Wednesday nights, we have our blessing box here at church. Well, the kids, they're kind of involved by filling it, but how we organize the food and stuff hasn't been. So
Right.
the other night we took them all down to that middle building where we keep all the food, and they organized it for us.
Wow.
I mean, they
That's
went
good.
there, they put all the waters up on the shelves. They put every bit of food, they kind of put it up on a level so in case it rained or anything, but they made sure it was looking good.
And that's good because, I don't know a whole lot of kids, but just from being around my kids' friends and things like that, and seeing kids here at church, some kids, given home situations or just maybe their parents are working too much, so it's not all bad, but sometimes they just don't have, in a sense, that structure. You know what I mean? They don't have, at home they don't necessarily have to do a lot of things, and I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it is helpful when they have those skills, because like I said, at least learning them somewhere is better than not learning them all.
Exactly.
So that's very good. But let's see. So far, have you guys seen anything that just a move of God during VBS? Just like maybe a kid just just hearing the word, or maybe just seeing a move of God. Because I'm going to be honest, when me and my wife, when we first started coming to church, she grew up in church, but I didn't. But when we started getting our kids into church after my father-in-law passed away, it was with VBS. And like once we went to that VBS, I mean, we were just kind of hooked, because I mean, these kids were just doing all these amazing things, and from that point on, we just jumped right in a sense. So what would you guys say would be a move of God so far that you've seen?
Well,
Well, to start out, I mean, last week, just, full transparency, last week we had some water in the gym. We had a bunch of water come after us. The enemy just trying to tear us down. I mean, he's been trying to tear us down for weeks. I can tell you that for certain. Us being prepared for this. But we had all these decorations, they were out in the gym and they're all in our office. Well, when the gym got flooded and our office did, not one Bible school decoration got destroyed.
Wow.
It actually went around it.
Yeah.
Really?
Through the wall into our office.
Wow.
Yeah.
It literally was like, I mean, there was
like
a
a
vortex protecting.
Just blocking it. Yeah, yeah.
It
That
was amazing.
that
And
is
the people
amazing.
that showed up to help.
Yeah.
It was, our church foundation family that proved right there how
Right.
strong we are. And together, when we go into battle, we're going to be unstoppable.
Right, right, and that's a big thing you saying that people coming to help, because a lot of times things will happen, and there'll be a lot of people will be like, well, somebody else will take care of it. Well, that person will do it, but then but you guys, which I was at work, did my other job. So how many people would you guys say was here that just showed up?
Oh goodness, we had in and out.
I mean, it was
15, 20.
Yeah, easily in and out.
Yeah.
I would even venture to say maybe more than like 20, 25, like in and out.
Right.
Just bringing us, whether it was bringing fans, blowers to blow the tiles and stuff, get everything in the baseboards dry. Shop vacs were being brought in. People were brooming out water like
Wow.
they were. I mean, it was an amazing
It was a
show.
work, huh? No.
It was awesome.
And that's look, that's so good. And one of our core values here is actually life is better together. And and that just proves it. And when us doing that shows like Christ working in us.
Yes.
Because like I said, it was so easy for someone to just mark it off as somebody else will take care of that and those type of things. So that's awesome. And have you guys posted pictures of the hallways and stuff up at the gym where you guys have decorated?
I think Joel did.
I
They
said,
did.
thank you. I'm gonna post some. I've been posting some reels. I'm gonna make one, the whole big one for.
Well, you
Friday
guys
night.
did an
Yeah,
amazing job, by the way.
Thank you.
We
Thank
have
you.
5,000 pictures, Eric. It's a lot.
It was an amazing job. So
Well, in fact, Friday night we're actually doing, we're taking it back old school is what I call it. Like,
Yeah.
like how I grew up in VBS. The kids are all going to perform.
okay.
And then all the adults, their parents are going to get to come up to the Kidlife building so they can see all of it as well.
And basically
then
see
there's-
all they've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
because we're going to have pictures up, we're going to have a bunch of games in the gym, we're going to feed everyone. But yeah, so we're super excited for that. So everyone's invited.
So they get to basically are they going to like do a song and things for their parents and just do how many are they going to do?
Each group, all the kids are going to do the main theme song, the Zoom Ring theme song that we've been doing, and then each group we have 4 different groups with different ages, like 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and 9 plus. They're all going to do their own group song up on stage.
Okay, that's good. So, with this theme, okay, I'm gonna go back to this theme. Who thought of the idea of Zoomerang? Is that just something you guys found? Did you guys someone kind of randomly bring it up?
That's another
Or-
blessing,
That was-
actually.
Yeah.
That's
That was
another
big.
blessing.
Because me personally, I have a hard time, and many people that I work with can tell you this. I have a hard time organizing things, getting things situated. Like if you need me to do something, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But
See,
if
that's
as
why
far
the
as
three of us
organizing,
work together.
right?
And Caitlin has been our organizer for this. I mean, she really has, and Emily has been our decorator and idea person, and I've just kind of been you. Tell me what
Just
you
do
want
the
to
do.
do, and
So,
I'll do it.
so you just kind of found this, just looking through some things.
So
But
different.
so what?
ministers-
Sorry, not to cut you off.
You're
What made you want to pick this one also, in a sense?
Well, a little bit of everything. So this Zoomerang theme was actually something that was popular last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because different companies come out with these VBS themes.
Right,
basically.
right.
They provide the material and stuff for you. But my cousin's church, actually over in Johnson City, they did this theme last year, and I got to witness it and see it. And hearing talking about the sanctity, and value of life that it was,
Right.
from the womb to everything. I'm like, that can apply in so many different
Absolutely.
aspects here. I mean, that is something we
Absolutely.
need so much right now as
Yeah,
a country.
absolutely.
Not even in our kids. I mean, everyone
No,
needs it.
absolutely. You hit it
So-
spot on there.
I mean, just having our volunteers, some people who's never even helped in Kidlife before have been
Mm-hmm.
helping us this week.
Wow.
Having them come and hear that and knowing, this is the ground we stand on in you. We're not altering from it.
Right.
This is what we're teaching our kids and believing for them.
Hey, look, give me
So-
chills.
I know,
Amen
me
to
too.
that.
I was
Amen
like,
to that.
But I mean, that's what, we think and hope it lies on them too. Not just
Right.
our kids, but it's so important for our volunteers to hear it.
Yeah.
Because, so many times, that, like you all said, up in Kidlife, some people's things aren't kids. But
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so many stories this week from volunteers. I'm really not a big fan of, working with kids, but this has been such a blessing, not only to
Absolutely.
me to hear the lessons from them and things like that. but kind of going back, sorry, the original main
No,
question.
you're good.
My cousin church, they were so willing, and they just let us all borrow everything. I mean,
Wow.
all their decorations they had left over, they let us borrow and things like that. So
And see, and they go to another church, right? And see, I love stuff like that because so many times today, you know, it's almost like churches, and which is part of the problem. It's just so much division, right? And many places you could have asked to borrow something, and they would have been like, no, not a chance.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
Or it'll
great.
cost you.
Yeah,
It'll
or
cost you.
or
Now,
it'll
they
cost
do
you.
expect it back.
Well, yeah, we'll have to give it back. That's
But
for
it
sure.
is a blessing because if you've ever gone on any of those sites and looked at some of these VBS kits, because they look great and
Right.
it's awesome to be able to do that, but they are expensive, you
Right,
know.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and we want these kids to all have the same experience. So it's like, you know, yeah, it's great, and it's great to have all those decorations, but, you know, like, T-shirts are expensive, and food
Right.
is expensive,
Mhm.
and there are some of these kids that they depend on this to eat a meal that night. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean? So
absolutely.
to be able to get this stuff donated to us through Caitlin's Connections, and to have that church just be so willing to help another church out,
Right.
we're able to provide dinner every single night for these kids. We're
Awesome.
able to provide as much food as they can eat. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like 5 crackers and some peanut
Right,
butter.
right,
You know, like
right.
they're getting dinner every night. And like Caitlin said, the sanctity of life right now, especially where we live at, the country, the state that this world is in, is something so important that these kids need to know. And some of these kids, their families don't go to church here. You know,
Right.
their families might drop them off because it's a safe space that
Yeah.
they can let them be kept for a couple hours and get some peace or
Right,
whatever,
right,
you know,
yeah,
break.
yeah.
And it's like we're teaching these kids this, and these kids might be their family's doorway into getting into church. You know?
Absolutely,
So-
absolutely, and I'll be one of the things that really got me into church. I mean, of course, it was the Lord Almighty for sure. But one thing, I went to help out in the kids ministry, and I remember I was just so arrogant about it because I'm like, there's no way that these kids know the word. But little did I know there was people like you, women and men like you all, and pouring into these kids the word. So when I went and I was about to go help in this kids ministry, I'm like, man, there's no way these kids know this Bible. I was just arrogant about it, to be honest with you. And then, man, when I went in there and I was hearing these kids pray about their families, I mean, some of them prayed about their dogs and things like that, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
man, I heard kids praying about, you know, one of them, their mother had a miscarriage. Another one, they was praying for their grandmother. And it really, I started crying. I'm like, shame on me for even thinking such a thing. So I think it's awesome. And I think it's amazing how God brought all three of you together. And like you said, your brains are different, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
brains function in different ways, but you know, somehow the way that the Lord works, all of it worked together. And I just want to say, like I said before, you guys do an amazing job.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
you guys do a very amazing job. And I think everyone can agree. And it's awesome that you guys got volunteers that don't even, like you said, not even in Kid Life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think a few of them don't even have kids in Kid
no,
Life.
no.
You know?
When I say
So-
that sense, the ones that don't like kids
Right.
have volunteered. We have had more volunteers for Kid Life than I think we've ever had.
Wow.
I mean,
I don't know where to put them all. They show up and I'm like, well, I got
They're
4
like, I'm
people
here
in
to
this
help.
room and 7
And-
people over here.
Yeah, and honestly, we were a little concerned.
Right.
You know, we didn't know the numbers we were going to get, but we were concerned that we wouldn't have enough adults.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
every night, God has provided enough adults.
Man, that's how he
I mean,
works.
every
Yeah.
night, yes. And I don't mean to interrupt. I know.
No, you're,
But you were talking about how the kids blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they blew your mind.
yeah,
These kids are hungry for the word.
absolutely.
And they have questions, and they ask questions, and they ask hard questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like you said, you're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And-
and it's just, it's amazing. And friends are bringing friends.
Right,
And
right.
friends.
And
It's
see,
like
and that's a
friends
big
of friends
key.
of friends,
Yeah.
that are coming. And this may be the only experience they get.
Absolutely.
But we're trying to fill them with as much love
Right.
and as much knowledge as we can possibly give them
Mm-hmm.
in, the days that we have them. And hopefully, like Emily said, we're opening the doorway. We're
Right.
trying to we have parents that come and on a regular basis now.
Right.
But they're like, if we don't come, our kids get on to us.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
at
my-
us if we don't
absolutely.
come.
That my
And I'm
kids fight
like,
me
you
all
know
the time.
what? You keep doing it. Keep
Yeah.
doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
even
And
like,
they'll be here.
yeah, and even like bringing their friends. I mean, and you've experienced this with your kids, I know, because I've talked to them about it. But, like they were begging, hey, we've got
Yes.
this friend we want to pick up, and
Right.
they were on and on and on about it. But it's awesome to see that they want their friends to be involved. Come
Right.
check this out.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
see what we're doing. And that's been amazing too.
And you saying that is cool because, you know, you would think in your mind, well, they're just coming to play the games. They're just coming to play this. But in reality, even if they do specifically say they're coming for that, they end up learning about Jesus.
Yes.
They end up hearing the
Yes.
word. So, you know, it's planting that seed inside them. So, you know, that's great. and many kids, and I've seen one case in particular here where this little girl, she was coming to church. Her family wasn't coming. They were just, you know, bringing her to the ministry and stuff. Well, she ended up getting saved, and then she got baptized. And from that point on, her mother, her sister, like everybody just started coming because of what she did. So, you know, pouring into these kids are very, very important because of that. Because, you know, in reality, you know, parents can be mad at such and such, but at the end of the day, they're worried about what their kids are doing for the most part, right?
Absolutely.
So just to wrap up, you know, you guys are doing, like I said, an amazing job, and I thank you guys. Is there any like particular Facebook page or anywhere like on the website maybe that anybody can reach you guys in particular that is the most informational that you guys would say?
Just the Kidlife Facebook page.
Okay.
It's just Kidlife. You know, Kidlife, just how it spells, like on our shirts.
Okay.
And on the website, Real Life Bristol, it's on the About Us. If you go there, it's under Kidlife as well.
Okay, awesome. And so, what else? I done missed what I was going to say. So, VBS, when does it end? Does it end this Friday?
Friday's our last day.
Friday's the last day. Okay, so Friday, you guys get out here before it ends, all right? VBS, bring your kids, and it's 5:30 to 8:30 until Friday, right?
Yep. Hours.
Okay,
We're
awesome.
feeding parents and everybody too. We're ordering pizza. Everybody's
Awesome.
gonna eat. So.
Because Friday night is a little different. Friday night is mainly, you know, it's going to be like like, you know, the kids are going to get to perform and like teach all their parents what they've learned, basically.
Right, and if so, let's just say they haven't came the whole week. Is it okay if they still come today and the next day, or if they just come on Friday?
They can come Friday too.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right.
We're here, absolutely.
Yep.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, guys, you heard it yourself. Bring your kids out to VBS tonight at Real Life Church from 5:30 to 8:30. We're doing it up until Friday. Once again, thank you, lovely ladies, for joining us. And guys, that's a wrap for the day. We love you all. Have a blessed day.